Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer at jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and please comment below. And if you're listening to this on any of our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star review, subscribe to the podcast, and also don't forget to download our great episodes. I am thrilled to welcome our second international guest of 2023. He has over 106,000 YouTube subscribers, 13.5 million times, and his videos have been viewed 13.5 million times. He's one of the best pop culture historians with one of the best things. But however, the Power Rangers are one of my favorite things, so I'm so happy to have him. So please help me welcome Jake from the 6th Ranger. How is it going, Jake?
What's up? Thanks for having me. It's going good.
You're so welcome. When it's the 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers, so I have to have someone that has done an incredible job telling stories to fans. But you're one of the best Ranger historians. So thank you so much for taking time in his schedule.
I appreciate it. No, it's a pleasure. You said I was your second international guest, right? Who was the first?
My friend Owen likes comics. He's also based in England.
Oh, nice. Cool. Okay. Hopefully I can live up to it.
Okay. You'll do great. You'll do great. So let's get started. So when did you get interested in storytelling, and how did that passion evolve and desire to become a content creator?
I guess growing up, I've always been interested in movies and comic books, television, obviously Power Rangers. And it was actually the Lord of the Rings. So I have a Lord of the Rings channel as well, The Broken Sword. It was actually that and the behind the scenes of those movies that got me interested in wanting to tell my own stories visually as a filmmaker. So from the age of, I don't know, maybe 13, I wanted to be a filmmaker, and it's all I've done ever since. And that gradually went over to doing my own stuff on YouTube, and I've just done that ever since. And yeah, I saw, an opportunity with Power Rangers and being able to share my passion with Power Rangers, and I took it, and here we are.
That's incredible. You and I are cut from the same cloth, my friend, because I grew up doing everything. So can you describe the 6th Rangers origin story to my audience?
Origin story? I think it's basically a case of I was already doing YouTube content with Lord of the Rings lore and videos based around Middle-earth. And I was going home and I was reading Power Rangers comic books and watching Power Rangers. And I was just thinking, why don't I just do the same thing, but for Power Rangers? I'm spending so much of my time with that franchise anyway. I may as well share that with other people that have the same interest, just more like-minded people. And hopefully other people will enjoy it as much as they seem to enjoy my Lord of the Rings stuff. And thankfully, over 106,000 people seem to like it. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I'm one of the and I'm proud to say I'm one of the 106,000 people that like it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So what have been some of the challenges that you faced developing an audience, and how do you overcome those obstacles?
Entering into doing Power Rangers, I knew that my audience was basically a lot younger than a Middle-earth audience. It was definitely a younger audience, but also people like myself who are older and still enjoy Power Rangers through nostalgia or anything like that. So it was trying to find a balance in content where I can please the adult audience, because there's definitely a big adult audience for Power Rangers still, there's no doubt, but also have content that the younger audience can enjoy. That's quite a fine line, and that was quite a challenge, especially coming from a Lord of the Rings background where I knew it was definitely, kind of like 20, 25 plus was my demographic, whereas Power Rangers is much wider. So it was a bit of play with how I present and stuff like that. So that was the biggest challenge. But I guess I just kind of found that middle ground through trial and error.
I gotta say, trial and error is always the best way to find your audience. And I think you've done a fabulous job, not only engaging with our generation of fans who grew up watching the franchise from the ground up, but also the other kids and also other families as well. So I bet one of these days you're going to have 3 generations of fans watching you.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Awesome. So what I love about Jake's videos on 6th Ranger is his incredible in-depth videos. And we would have too much time to talk about it. So I picked out 5 to 7 important videos that you all need to watch if you go on the Six Ranger channel. So let's start off because I love your villain stories. So the full story of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers villains, because I think you did a great job picking out the 5 best. Those are Zed, Rita, Master Vile, Goldar, and Scorpina.
Yeah, 100%. Lord Zed is my guy. Lord Zed's one of the greatest villains, especially when you're talking shows that were aimed at kids initially. Lord Zed was terrifying. So yeah, doing videos on him is always a pleasure. And I try and think of other angles to come at rather than just doing a full story off. So I can do more content on characters that I like Lord Zed, Lord Draken from the comic books I'm a huge fan of. So yeah, I'm glad you like those ones.
Yeah, especially because the thing is, a lot of people, I don't think a lot of younger fans know about the comics and know about, and don't know about the stories of how back these stories go. And especially, I still unfortunately wanted so badly to hear Robert Axelrod, who voiced that, who recently passed away, and Barbara Goodson just do trade lines of Fitz and Price's Thriller. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
R.I.P.
I know. So what I also love is your behind the scenes. And by the way, you did a fabulous job incorporating the Power Rangers Ultimate History, which I have in my apartment. That book is so amazing, well done. So, what did you learn the most about the behind the scenes episodes of both Zeo and also the first 2 movies, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie and in Turbo?
What did I learn? Oh God, I don't know. There was that book. Going back to that book, like you said, it's a great addition. And those videos, you've almost got to thank the creators of that book more than me. I've just kind of visualized it onto video, but the information comes from there, and it's just crammed with amazing facts and really interesting stuff about the making of and the behind the scenes and the whole process behind making every season up to the release of the book. But as for what I learned, I struggle to think of anything off the top of my head. There's so many. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch my own video to to pick something out, I think.
I gotta say, we were all, I think because of the no pink spandex and everything, we knew about what wrong with David Yost and behind the scenes of Zeo and like that. It would have been epic to see him take on the Gold Ranger powers, but it would.
I agree.
But however, it would have been history. It would have been definitely altered the course of Ranger history if it did.
Yeah, David Yost is one of my favorite Power Rangers actors ever, and Billy's one of my favorite characters. So, always hearing about the stuff that went on behind the scenes with him really, it makes me quite sad. But he is returning this year, so clearly something's been, they've made amends. I know Hasbro, obviously the owners now, so hopefully he can come back and they do his character justice.
I agree completely because I agree. David Yost is Billy, one of my all-time favorite characters in the Ranger lore. And I gotta say, it was amazing. It's great to see him come back, and we'll talk more about that later. But first, we gotta talk about, I loved your Zeo powers video because the thing is, Zeo was known as the most powerful Ranger powers of them all. It should have been the most powerful Ranger power of all. And it would have been mixed being about Divatox and Malagor, but then we all learned that they transfer over to Turbo. So that was an interesting video. Did you hear any good feedback from your subscribers?
Yeah, that's one of my most popular videos ever, I think. I'm not quite sure what exactly the views are on. I think it's quite a lot, maybe over 500,000. Is that one that much?
I think
so. I don't know, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but that's just one of those questions, and how I work a lot of my videos is if there's something within Power Rangers, or again, going back to Lord of the Rings, that I don't know, then I will just spend hours, sometimes days, researching an answer. So, for example, I was like, what happened to the Zeo powers? Like, why did they not, carry over? Why did they go to the turbo powers? And I ended up researching the hell out of it. And yeah, that was the content that I came out with. And I think the feedback on it was pretty good.
I agree because the Zeo powers, I would love to see. I'm glad they incorporated the Tommy Zeo powers, DADFs, in the 25th anniversary episode. But it'd been nice to give Captain Sutherland her powers as well. And same with Steve Cardenas.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole thing with the Master Morpher. I guess there's just one that we know of. So yeah.
Absolutely. But I gotta say, if I was part of the team, the writing staff, I would say, give them their Master Morphers. And I would just steal for David, I would add the Omega Rangers blue power to that morpher.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I did a video on that as well. Like, could any Ranger use a Master Morpher? And I think especially with Billy around, I don't see any reason why they couldn't give them out to any Rangers that have multiple powers.
And the thing is, to hypotheticalize with the Master Morphers as well, you have people like Cassie and Kat and Kendricks and Corone that could share that powers or something.
Yeah.
With especially the pink.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be possible. We know the powers can be shared because both Rocky and Jason have reaccessed Mighty Morphin Red, right? So powers can be shared. So yeah.
Absolutely. I gotta say, one of my favorite videos though was Power Rangers Hexagon. That would have been the perfect way to end the Zordon era and post Zordon era. That story, for those of you, can you tell about the Power Rangers Hexagon for those of you who are unfamiliar with it?
Yeah, Power Rangers Hexagon was like a planned season that never sadly came to fruition, where they had multiple. It was almost like, I can't remember the exact outline of the story, but it was like a government agency type thing where they had different tiers and branches of Rangers essentially, and there would have been lots of returning cast and characters, and it sounded absolutely incredible. And I'm hoping that one day they will take not necessarily that, but at least inspiration from it, and we'll have that sort of format for a Power Rangers show. I get obviously budget, and having all of the original characters or previous older Rangers return is expensive, but in my opinion, it would be worth it. Hey, maybe we have to do it as a fan series one day, right? Maybe that can be my goal on the Sixth Ranger.
Absolutely, and not to mention the fact that we've seen Unworthy done well. We've seen Bat in the Sun do well with Power. But there's a lot of incredible fan productions that have done wonderful work with Power Rangers.
Yeah, and it is a goal of mine. You know, I have purchased costumes for some live action stuff. I've announced already on the channel, but we're going to kick it off with some like legendary Rangers versus each other, like in live action fight scenes. So there's not too much narrative to it, but it's just like my background's in martial arts myself, so I'll probably play one of the Rangers myself. But I think we're going to start with Mighty Morphin Red versus Mighty Morphin Green. Little rematch between Jason and Tommy.
way back to the green with Evil Days. Back.
Yeah, that's where we got to start.
That's just amazing. But first, you brought up Green. I want to say thank you for being one of the best creators on one of the darkest days I think this franchise has ever had. Mm-hmm. It was being one of for those of you who don't know, JDF, Jason David Frank, unfortunately passed away near the end of 22 and shocked the entire Ranger fandom. Mm-hmm. So I want to say thank you. And for those of you that need help, there's always help at 988. So I want to say it must have been difficult making that video.
Yeah, it was horrible. So like I just said, my background's in martial arts, and I would, say with a lot of confidence that if it wasn't for JDF and the character of Tommy Oliver, I probably never would have got into martial arts as a child. And like where we are right now, this office, this little studio backdrop, this is in my office inside my gym. So I own a mixed martial arts gym, and this is upstairs. So yeah, my life was literally changed because of JDF. So waking up to that news that day was horrific. And it was quite sad that I had a few messages and comments of people telling me I was trying to profit from his death. It was far from my goal. That wasn't my goal in any way. I wanted to share my in fact, I turned adverts off throughout that video, so I think that there was no like ad rev or anything like that even on it, but I just wanted to share my story and almost like my thank you to JDF, and I wanted to encourage other people to share their stories for JDF.
And I gotta say, my story with JDF was when he went to Planet Comic-Con back in 2016 when I met him. This is after playing with multiple action figures, writing so many fan fictions, watching the series as well. And it's just to see him in person and just to do a pose with him. It was just to have him sign it was tough for me to choose. It was White Ranger. It was White Ranger that he signed. So just to grab a photo with him, that's something I will always treasure. So
yeah, it's a big regret of mine. I never got to meet him. I did have an opportunity. It was a long time ago, probably 2014. I don't know, whenever he was last in the UK that I can remember. I did have an opportunity, didn't take it. And yeah, that's a big regret. But I was very fortunate. A fan of the channel actually sent me a little signed card in the post, which was I was very grateful for. So I got that at least.
For those of you who did not see that for the audio, that's a card of the White Dragon. That looked epic. It was basically a whole evolution of a different character or JDF's version of how you would continue Tommy Oliver's story, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's its own universe, right? It's not Power Rangers, but heavily inspired by.
Absolutely. So let's get back onto some positive notes because we got to celebrate the 30th anniversary. And we've learned that there's an anniversary special that featured several cast members that we've been waiting to see them return back, including Walter Jones and David Yost and Johnny Bosch and Karen Ashley. Their return to the franchise. Plus, we have Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, which is the continuation of the Dino Fury storyline. First time, I think, since the Zeo and Turbo days that they've had a continuation. And in Space Days, that they've had a continuation of the story. So what are you hoping that Hasbro brand does for to recognize Power Rangers 30th anniversary celebration?
Well, the reunion, like you said, it's his own thing. And for me, that is exactly what I would have wanted. A reunion of original Rangers to celebrate the length of this fantastic long-running franchise. It's great. But the biggest thing for me is I just hope they do their characters justice. It's great getting them back, but if the stories that they give them, doesn't do justice to these great characters, I'm going to be disappointed. So although I'm happy it's happening, I'm a little bit on edge because imagine they killed off Billy Cranston or something. I would be devastated, So not that they're going to kill him off, but I'm a little bit, I'm optimistic, but I'm also anxious.
Same here, especially with the addition of Trini's daughter now and thrown into the mix. I'm anxious as well.
Yeah, that was my next point.
How are they going to do it? Because Rita's reformed. We have Zed. If they can steal Cosmic Fury, if they can steal him from Cosmic Fury.
Yeah.
The Machine Empire's gone. Divatox is reformed. It's Frax is dead. Frax dead and Rita's Frax is dead. The only people that could be accountable are Scorpina, Master Vile, and Zed. That could bring them all back.
Yeah. But we also, I think, timeline-wise, this is going to be set almost as a prequel to SPD. So
really?
Yeah. So if you look at some of the photos, I think Johnny Young Bosch is wearing an outfit with a badge on. It looks like the SPD badge, but it says SPA, I think, off the top of my head. And I believe that's like a prequel to SPD.
Oh, wow. To learn that goes back to Space Patrol Delta all those years ago. That'd be great. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. I'm cautiously optimistic on how everything plays out.
Yeah, same here. And especially with the continuation of Trini's story, I guess. I feel like, especially with the emotional year we've had as Ranger fans, continuing her story is also going to be very emotional. And I hope that's handled well as well.
Absolutely. So besides Sixth Ranger, and you mentioned Lord of the Rings as well, you also host Federation Outpost, the Batcave, and also you are another master of Dragon Ball Z history. So what are some of the favorite videos that you have made for those channels?
Some of my favorite videos, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. So Federation Outpost and the Batcave haven't been so active the last 2 months, just because I'm so busy. And it's very, very hard to grow a channel from nothing. But for Federation Outpost, I think my favorite video on there would have to be maybe the Kelvin timeline explained, because that was quite a complicated one to explain. And then I also did one explaining the quadrants, so that was quite fun. The Batcave, there's one popular video on there that I have to pick, and that was Batman's training routine. So I broke down how Batman would eat and train in real life to kind of get into the physical condition that he's in. And crazily, that's on 883,000 views, which is crazy.
That's
I was
a
getting
lot.
I was getting people message me that I went to school with and stuff, like send me screenshots saying, dude, is this you? Because they didn't know I did anything on YouTube. And I just, that video went everywhere. That was crazy.
That's incredible. And also got to mention the fact that I got to give you credit between Sixth Ranger, Dragon Ball History, the Batcave, Lord of the Rings. I give you a whole lot of kudos for doing being able to handle all those franchises extremely well.
Well, I'm fortunate enough to have a team. So there's a few of us. There's two of us that run most of the channels, me and my buddy James. So like the Broken Sword, the Lord of the Rings channel, that's 50-50. The Sixth Ranger is just me. And then the Dragon Ball channel is both of our channel. If you look at the logo of the channel, History of Dragon Ball, it's the two of us, but he does most of the narration on that one. So yeah, the time is split up, and then we've got some editors and some writers as well. Awesome. The Sixth Ranger, I do everything on that. Everything.
I got to give you kudos for that because you have created a lot. I think you created an incredible group of fan community over there. So kudos, Jake, for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we've just set up like a Facebook page as well for the Sixth Ranger, like a group. So that's been a fun little community. I set it up a week ago. There's about 400 people in there, and everyone's just sharing Power Rangers stuff and cosplays and artwork and videos. It's great. And that was my goal, was to build a bit of a community for Power Ranger fans, and it's worked well. I
might need to join that community after.
Yeah, definitely do it. Yeah, just type in the Sixth Ranger on Facebook.
Awesome. So let's start. We got to start winding down our conversation. So what are some of besides YouTube, what are some of the social media apps that you love to work with?
I think I use pretty much everything. So outside of YouTube, obviously, I think Instagram is probably the app I use most, because Reels and pictures is a great way to share stuff. We Federation Outpost actually is much bigger on TikTok than it is on YouTube.
Really?
So it's got over 10,000 followers on there, I believe, and some of the videos have over 300,000 views. But I think the algorithm on TikTok is much easier to crack than it is on than YouTube. So a lot easier to get people to see stuff.
Awesome. Now, if you had the opportunity to meet with other content creators who want to showcase their work on YouTube, what advice would you share with them?
Passion and consistency. I think that's all it comes down to. If you're trying to make content and videos about stuff that you're not particularly interested in, it's never going to work, and it comes across. Whereas if you're really passionate about the subject matter, then I believe that truly comes across in your content. I'm very passionate about Power Rangers. It played a big part of my life. It changed my life. I enjoy talking about it. So I hope that enthusiasm and that passion comes across in videos. Not only that, people quite often, like I've had many friends see the success I've had on YouTube in terms of views and subscribers on multiple channels, and they're like, well, I'll just start a channel and I'll talk about Marvel or Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, go for it. They do 2 videos and they get 5 views and then they give up. That's how it goes. You've got to just be consistent. I upload videos every single week on about 6 different channels. Some of them, like my newest channel is Blue Eyes TCGs, where me and James open trading cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Dragon Ball. That's on less than 1,000 subscribers, but we're still doing videos multiple times a week just because we love it, So that would be my advice.
Awesome. And same with this channel as well. Like, it's slowly but surely growing but surely. And like, I love telling stories. I love having conversations with people. So that's why I love doing what I do with this. So one final question. Are you ready?
I think so.
All righty. Where can my audience find the Sixth Ranger and find the Batcave, find Dragon Ball History, find the Lord of the Rings stuff, and find the outlets? And not to mention, let's add social media to that.
Oh, God. Okay. So I guess you just search the channel names for any of them on any platform. So we've got the Sixth Ranger, the Batcave, the Broken Sword. What else is there? History of Dragon Ball. And the new one is Blue Eyes TCGs. You search any of those on any social media platform, it should bring you to the right place. My name is Jake Rogers as well. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Jake Rogers BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a martial art I teach.
Awesome. And I definitely have my uncle definitely is a jiu-jitsu black belt, so I respect a whole lot of jiu-jitsu fighters. Yes.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, if he's ever in Wales in the UK, you'll have to pop down to my gym.
I will. So guys, if you miss an episode for the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. It's Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, just to let you know, Jake, passion and persistence has paid off because jakestick.com, the blog that started it all, is celebrating its 12th anniversary this August.
12th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, well done. Great name, too.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So if you want to find out more articles, more interviews, and reviews, head over to jakes-take.com. Jake, I want to say thank you so much for what you do throughout the Power Ranger fandom. You're awesome. You're one of the best content creators of our generation, I think. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate it.
No, the pleasure's all mine. I really appreciate the kind words and great interview. Had a great time. So thank you very much for having me on.
You're so welcome, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.